Good to see you. Kristen, how are you doing? So is anybody making for sale by owner calls right now to for sale by owners off Zillow or street signs if you drive by them? Hey, Anna, how are you doing in Hawaii? Acknowledging the 7 a.m. Hawaii time.
Good morning.
So nobody's making phone calls to for sale by owners right now?
Randy, I have done some, and I'm also on Russell's call every 2 weeks.
Okay, cool. So you
Yep.
might have a little bit of, it might be a little redundant, might have a little advantage in the conversation, but what I want to talk about is the market, the way the market has shifted. For sale by owners were really able to do a good job on their own because of such a lack of inventory, even though we still have a little bit of we still have a significant lack of inventory, but the market has changed significantly as well, right? So more than ever, the for sale by owner are going to be pressured by price and all these opportunities. I read an article yesterday that they're talking about potentially losing up to 400,000 agents in the next 12 months out of real estate. We always have a turnover when the market shifts and we move into a recession. That's natural, right? That's happened over and over. I just don't want you to be one of the agents impacted by that. I want to do what I can to set you apart and set you up for the future. And listen, the agents that work hard in the next market are going to gain a lot of market share because there are going to be agents that sit on their hands and don't know how to handle things as we go. So I was asked on a panel recently, what's one of the greatest low-hanging fruits? And I think it's for sale by owners. I think that in most market there's for sale by owners. You could also go and find, anytime I see a for sale by owner sign, even when I'm driving in a different state, I feel like I got to slam on the brakes and take a picture of it and call them because there's an opportunity there, right? But what I want to do today is show you some opportunities locally that you could do as we're on the call and show you how to find some of these for sale by owners on Zillow. The good thing about Zillow, and as we look at Zillow, most for sale by owners post it on Zillow because it's free. It's an opportunity to post their house on Zillow for free, right? So it's easy for us to find those. So for instance, I'll share my screen and you could do this in just a second. But as I look at Zillow, right? So I'm going to go back to the main Zillow page. So as you come onto Zillow.com, right? This is what it's going to look like. And then you could select if you want to buy, sell, or rent. At this stage, you can hit buy. And at one of the drop downs on the buy is for sale by owner right here. So we're looking at for sale by owners in Corvallis. So it pulls up 3 particular for sale by owners in Corvallis. Okay. So this first one, let's just open it up and look at it. Everybody see my screen okay there? Okay, cool. So this is a for sale by owner. Zestimate is $539. It's listed at $499. That's one indicator automatically that they're probably in the right ballpark, right? Whether Zestimate, it's not an argument for Zestimate being accurate or not. This is just a real quick reference. If the Zestimate was $399, it was listed for $499. You can see where that's a different thing to look at. But this has been on Zillow 69 days. The buy, and immediately, this is one of my first questions in my training is the for sale by owner willing to pay half of a commission? 2.5% or 3% is what I say. So automatically willing to pay a buyer's agent fee of up to 3%, right? So you got somebody that's willing to sell their house, willing to pay an agent 3%, been on the market 69 days. Something's wrong, right? It could be the MLS exposure. It could be anything. So let's look through this real quick. It says, and I want to look to make sure it says no agents because this one looks agent friendly. They said they're willing to pay a buyer agent fee of up to 3%, correct? So that tells me they're agent friendly. Some say agents do not contact me. I still contact them, by the way. I still contact them. I say, hey, I see you don't want agents. I assume you're not wanting to list it with an agent. Is that correct? And they go, yes, that's why we wrote that. I'm like, are you willing to pay a half of a commission? What depends? What's half? Half is 3%, half is 6%. And if they go, well, normal's 5%, I'm like, well, are you willing to pay 2.5%? What, I'm just finding out if you're willing to pay a commission if I bring my buyer in. If they say yes, I go, awesome. I'd love to establish a preview and preview the property ASAP. All right. And the goal is to look at the property, make sure it values out correctly. And then you can present it to your buyers that you may have that's a good fit. More importantly, is to establish some relationship with the client, right? With the homeowner. And by doing this, it's been a very successful enterprise with me over the years. And then now that you've established this, I ask, do you mind if I promote this to my buyers? Do you mind if I promote this on my website and to my buyers in my CRM? Well, when you do that, you basically have now acquired a listing that you can promote, and you're getting paid 3% for doing it, right? You could write contracts up that are single party agreements. You could do it with a handshake, because really you have nothing to lose at this stage, right? But the key is when he gives you access, when the sellers give you access to market and promote their property through this language, and I'd always back it up in writing. It could be an email. Mr. and Mrs. Smith, it was great meeting you at your house there at 123 Banana Street. Thank you for the permission to promote this listing to my buyers. And this doesn't obligate you to a listing agreement with me. This is just your permission to me to promote your property on my social media and to my buyers. Well, if you get that, you have full autonomy to promote it everywhere now. You can put pictures like this on your Facebook saying listing opportunity, right? Because you're just looking for the buyer's representation side of it. You've got a seller representation kind of, but it's for free. So any questions on that before we continue on here? You see the value in this doing it in your area.
I have a question, Randy.
Yes.
What happens if their price is way off? Would you talk to them about price or still promote it?
Yes, I would. I'd say something along these lines. Hey, Kristen, do you mind if I do a full CMA on this property for you and just, find out, I'm not sure where you established your price, and I'm not going to talk about price, but I'd like to do my own kind of real estate CMA on it if I could. Would you mind that?
Sure.
Okay. And is it cool if I share those results, good or bad? Okay.
Yes.
So then I'd do it, and then I'd show them where they're overpriced and what my true opinion is, like if they hired me at a full commission, right? I would offer that advice for free, because at this point, you're still trying to build that equity and that trust in that relationship. So for instance, hey, Kristen, I did the CMA, and is it a good time now? I mean, can I ask you to sit down?
Sure.
Right? Because you're kind of putting them in a posture, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I was just curious. I know you love your house, and I'm sure it's a beautiful house. It's been on the market 69 days at $499, but the comps came out around $430, and we're actually in a declining market. So it may have been worth $499 in the beginning of your journey, because the market did turn about 70 days ago, actually. So how did you come up? How did you establish that price? And more importantly, what do you own the property? Are you in a positive, position with equity and things? I'd trying to get to learn a little bit so I could help you.
So I feel
Right?
like, yeah, someone might say, well, the house just down the road sold for 500 20 days
Yeah,
ago.
Totally. When was that sell?
Like 20 days ago.
Wow, they got really, really lucky, because the market topped out basically about 2 months ago. And so anything after the next 2 months has been really, we're going backwards in price, and we expect that compression to continue to go. So your absolute best opportunity to sell is today. Do you have any offers on the table? Any current activity negotiating back and forth? You've probably had a lot of agents calling you, telling you they could sell it, I'm sure. So would it be okay if I had a conversation with you, Kristen, to talk about the differences between me and them? Because we have a program that I think is unmatched. It's basically a bidding website that we could put your property on, and the buyer comes in with some skin in the game, and you don't carry the burden of all that commission. You just stick with your half of a commission, or 3% total. Would you be willing to have a conversation around that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we could talk about that when I come out. And I'd also like permission to market this. How are you on that price? Are you completely set on that price, or are you flexible?
It depends.
On what?
On what you show me as far as price.
Okay, fair enough. Let's cross that bridge when we get to it. So I'd love to meet with you, take a look at the house. Do you have photos? I see the photos on Zillow. Do you have anything, videos or anything outside of that?
No.
Okay.
that's all I
All right,
got.
no problem. So so at this point, I'd pause and I'd make an appointment to go see them. It's worth it, right? You want to see what's going on with inventory. I think there's a real listing opportunity. At the very least, you can promote it to your buyers as a kind of like a pocket listing, even though you don't have a listing agreement with that seller. But if you have permission to promote it, there's nothing saying you couldn't promote it as yours, right? You have to put in there, not on the MLS, those kind of things to cover you in that language, but you could put this on your website. You could put it on Facebook, Instagram. You could do an open house for them. You could do a live open house. There's just so many opportunities for you to help them. And you're continuing to build trust through this as well. Okay. So you want to do a live call? You want to watch Randy be nervous just like everybody else is to make live calls? Would anybody like to make this phone call right now? Let me ask you that.
Why do you think I wake up so early to see you do these things?
Okay, so I like things that make me nervous means we're moving into an area of growth, right? And I've made no less than 100 to maybe 500 for sale by owner calls over the years, but it's still there's a little bit of a nervousness around it, right? But I love it personally. So I'm going to take this data and I'm going to find out if this for sale by owner, first of all, if they answer, and then what the situation is with it. By the way, I've never looked at this property. I just looked at it for the first time with you guys this morning when I did this, literally at 10:01 when I pulled this up. So let's give them a call. They're in 360 is Washington, I think, right? Where's the phone number? 360, I think, is Washington. So 360. If you're not muted, mute yourself just so I don't have any background noise, just in case while I'm making the phone call. I think Rich, you're unmuted. You're being quiet, but okay, let's call them.
Oh, this is Jeremy.
Hey, Jeremy, Randy Byrd, real estate broker here in Corvallis. How are you?
I'm doing okay.
Hey, do you have just 2 minutes?
Sure.
I appreciate it. I'm a real estate broker, but I had a buyer come across your place on Highway 20 in Corvallis.
Already sold. Sorry.
It is. Good for you. It still shows active on Zillow.
Yeah, I haven't logged in there and cleaned that up. I need to do that.
Can you do me a favor? It'd be really valuable. Get some feedback. So what did it sell for? Is it an escrow or closed?
It's closed.
Good for you.
I forget the exact number. It was through a mutual friend, so it was we kind of took care of it. We simplified some things, and so the net out to us was 470, somewhere in that range.
I think you did good.
Yeah.
And then no, it wasn't an agent that represented the other party. It was somebody you found on your own.
Yes.
Okay, beautiful. And just curious, what was your experience on the for sale by owner part of Zillow?
It was okay. The wasn't amazing. To be honest, I can tell that they've definitely focused because they've kind of tweaked their website so they don't pop up with the regular listings. It was a little slower, but I did get a steady stream of or a trickle stream of folks looking for things, and I kind of priced it high on there.
Yeah.
And so I was curious to see how that worked, and it was okay. Wasn't the end of the world.
That's very cool. And it looks like the Zestimate was higher, so that was you were in the right, price point.
It was reasonable. I think what we ended up with.
I love it. I appreciate that. And then last question, how many agents called you? I'm just curious as a real estate coach. I'm always curious how many agents called you.
That we're trying to pick up the sale, or who
yeah,
we're trying to. I don't know, quite a few.
Like more than 6?
Yeah.
Okay. I was
probably 15 folks calling to try to represent it.
I got you. Okay, cool. And I always try to be, cautious of that because you're obviously for sale by owner for a reason, right? So we just want to sell it. And I see you were offering 3%. So that I think you did everything right personally.
Okay, I appreciate it.
Well done. And your first name is Jeremy?
That's right.
Jeremy Randy Byrd. I appreciate talking to you, and let us know if we could help you in the future with anything.
Okay.
Thank you,
so
partner.
much. Bye-bye.
Bye now. All right. I might have got his email and stuff like that in a normal situation, but good conversation, sold already. So that was, that was good. And a couple good questions for you to hear the situation, right? He got 15, he said, calls from agents. How do you differentiate yourself now is the big question. So let's open up the mics now and do some takeaway from that. What did you hear from the conversation? What takeaways? I know I have my takeaways that I got from that, but what were your takeaways?
He had himself somewhat educated on the market it is right now, because he brought it, below the Zestimate, where a lot of people on for sale owners, they're like right at that Zestimate and sometimes above. They're a little bit unrealistic.
Right.
As far as, making yourself different from the rest of the agents, calling, offering up a program such as like home bids or express offers, depending on the property is always a good in.
Right. And something also, its estimate's 539, and he said he overlisted it a little bit at 499, right? So that, again, that tells me that the sellers really are in tune with what's going on with the market, and they don't trust Zillow just for what the face value is of it. But he was on the market 69 days and sold it to a private party. So he sold it without an agent. So he's also got an agent opportunity to become the agent for him in Corvallis if he has any other business, or to put him into the loop. But in this particular case, I think if the agents would have went the direction of trying to serve him and coming out to look at the house and representing the buyers early into the Zillow process, you could have easily been representing that party, either one side or the other, right? So what other takeaways or anything from this?
It sounded to me like it. Oh, I'm sorry, Richard.
No, go right ahead.
That it
Ladies
had
first.
some experience. Like he didn't sound. He sounded like he knew a little bit what he was talking about the net and being strategic.
I think so too. So another couple things I could have asked is, who did your paperwork for you? Like he didn't have an agent. Who handled all that? If an agent found it, did the agent do both sides, or did they just represent the buyer? That's how I do it. I say, you're unrepresented as the seller. I'm going to represent the buyer for 3%. If you want to pay 1%, I'll represent both parties neutrally. So then you can get 4% for doing the whole thing, or 5%, or whatever your number is. We're pretty flexible with EXP. You get to, make your negotiation to your benefit. There's a lot of companies, believe it or not, won't let you go below 2% or 2.5% or whatever. Give me just 1 second. I see all kinds of red lights and stuff outside my window. Hold on a second. Be right back. He's been struggling. So, little pause. Where were we? So, what other questions, takeaways on this particular thing?
Well, for me, I think one of the things I thought was interesting is he commented that he didn't think Zillow was spectacular. He kind of recognized that, he was kind of not number one with, his property out there. So, it's kind of interesting. People generally don't want to be in the back seat. So I kind of felt like his comment was not great, kind of riding in the back seat with the way the Zillow handles their stuff.
That's a great point, Rich. So, what I see with this, say for instance, you're sitting there, you don't have any listings, you've got 1 or 2 buyers. Is this not an opportunity to meet a seller, promote it on all your sites, maybe even do an open house or 2 for him? By the way, if you get him to do a USA Home Bids, or, there's some other bidding websites that we're involved with as well, and they all work on the same premise that the buyer's going to pay a premium to offer on that property. You want to do multiple open houses in those platforms anyway. So this could be a real partnership. At the very least, you get to put down, and your social media audience thinks that you have the listing because you're not promoting it otherwise. You're like to present you today, right? So if I was doing a social media post on this, it would go something like this. Hey, I'd like to present 4025 Northeast Highway 20 in Corvallis, Oregon, listed at $499,950, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1704 square foot. We're doing an open house this Saturday and this Sunday from 11 to 3. Come on out and see us. We'll also put some video and some live posting from the open house. And then we've got a bunch of pictures on our website. So go to realtyexplained.us. You're going to see the featured listings at the top. Click on this particular property for a full profile of this particular property, and come see it. Let us know what we can do to support you. We've got other listings as well, but this is the highlight for today. Again, 4025 Northeast Highway 20 in Corvallis, Oregon. All right. See you later, everybody. Bye. So again, the people in your social media don't know that this is not your listing. And what about if you were doing one of these a week? In 2 or 3 months, they're going to go, holy shit, this Christian girl is just crushing it, man. She's got stuff everywhere and you got 0 listings, right? Your buyers are seeing it that you're active. Your sellers are seeing it that you're active. Your friends are seeing that you're active. It's a win-win for all cases, in my belief. Okay. So this is just one tool that I'm presenting in the Birdhouse team meeting. So Kristen, you might hear this again today. But again, I want to understand and impress upon you how this could be a real opportunity now. And then to the for sale by owner, instead of making them bad, this is an important one to leave you with. Instead of making them bad, you don't know what you're doing. Oh my God, you need an agent. There's so much legality and you're just going to get yourself into problems. That's what most agents will do in the language. I say, you're just as smart as I am. You have all the resources to do this. The only difference is the MLS is a big deal, but the MLS, you can find somebody to put it on there for $200. The real difference with this is getting a partner that wants to partner with you on this particular property, right? The legality and all these pieces are important. Matter of fact, they're very important, but really it's the marketing and strategy and support up front. And at the end of the day, it's your net number. Would you agree, Mr. and Mrs. For sale by owner? The net is your end of the day number. So he said his net was 475. If we can come up with a game plan that gets him the same net and offers it to more exposure, then that's usually the difference between moving a for sale by owner over to a traditional listing. And then more importantly, educating them on the market. The market has turned. We're having increase in inventory and showing them those numbers. Price reductions are up 70%. That's going to affect you. And if you're not in front of the market, you're going to be chasing the market down. That's where we think we can help you significantly. Again, you can, if they're stuck on price or the net just won't pencil out, you could get some of the bidding websites. You could even throw it on the MLS for $250 for yourself and offer it just as a buyer's commission only. That's not that big of an advantage to you, but it could happen. I got asked to do one this week and I turned it down. He had a company that for $350, they'd put it on the MLS. It's like a for sale by owner type company. And he goes, I like you more. I went out, previewed the house. I did everything we just talked about. And I said, I'm a listing guy. I'll list it for you for 5% total. And you're willing to pay 3% to the buyer's agent. So really we're talking about a 2% difference. It's 10 grand. It's a lot of money at 500 grand, but I'm going to make that money up 3 or 4 times, 3 or 4X. And he goes, let me try this on my own. So I coached him. I said, don't do a 90-day, 6-month listing agreement. Do 30 days. 30 days max. I do an 11-day and a 21-day. So if they say no, just understand that. So he got a 30-day MLS listing agreement for $350, where to be on the MLS, and he's offering the MLS 3%. So I coached him and helped him with some of those situational pieces. But at the end of the day, it's going to make me look like we're partners now in this. And even though I might have missed the listing by not putting it on the MLS, it's just a business decision, not something I want to get involved with. But it could work for somebody else, right? So that's up to you. You're able to do it if you like. And we'll talk about that if you come across one of those things, but it's not in your best interest to do MLS only listings and try and compete for the cheapest thing in town. Okay. So real quick, before we hop out of here, I'm going to go back to Zillow. So I'm going to go back to the page where you go buy, for sale by owner. So there was this one that he's going to fix. And then we got this one here that, see, there's a good example. Zestimate says 600. They're asking 650. That's usually an immediate, at least flag for me to look into what's going on with this. It's only been on the market 9 days. It's a charming 6-bedroom in the University District in Corvallis. That could be worth a lot more than 650. It's currently renting for $1,650 a month. That's low for a university district for the college here at Corvallis. It's got a 12 by 24 shop. It looks cute. There's the property owner's name or phone number, at least listed for 6 days. And let's give them a call real quick and see what their temperature is on this. Okay, we got just 2 minutes and then I got my next thing, but let's call them real quick. 541-231-9981. And if they say I'm allowed to come out, I'm going to have somebody from the team go out and meet with them and help.
Hello.
Hello, this is a Randy Byrd real estate broker calling about your place on 5th Street.
You have a buyer.
I think I do. I have a buyer that's interested at least. Have you been getting a lot of calls on it?
I'm going to escrow this evening.
Dang it.
Yeah.
We were going to offer 10 million all cash.
Well, I'll tell you what, you'd be welcome to come look at it.
Uh,
It's pretty dang good. It's a wonderful house.
that's awesome.
Folks really want it.
I think I know the house exactly. When I saw the pictures, the red door and everything, I think I know. I was on 5th Street recently. So going into escrow tonight, can you give me any details just to help me along?
We sold it full price at $650.
Good for you.
It's a heck of a house, though. We use it as a duplex.
It could be a lot
so-
more though.
Yeah, I think it probably could have sold for some more, but I
Yeah.
kind of like these people and want to be done.
Oh, that's awesome, man. What's your first name?
Russ.
Russ, I'm Randy Byrd. Nice to talk to you.
And so, hey, Randy, here's the deal. I got 450 grand. I'm looking for a broken deal. So,
Okay.
The right house, I'd buy it, but I'm probably going to hang for a while. I'm probably going to chill. I own a mobile home park in Arizona,
Oh,
I'm
awesome.
gonna go
We're
down
in
there
we're in
for-
Arizona.
St. David,
Oh, I love it.
which is, by Tombstone kind of. Anyway, so I want to buy an opportunity.
Okay.
So if you come by with an opportunity, then you give me a call.
Totally. So
and if I've got I've got a realtor.
okay.
So
A realtor there or here or both?
no, everywhere. I got realtors everywhere. But I use Bryson.
Oh, yeah.
Bryson's been my family friend forever.
Okay.
So if we get to that place where we're going to drive around and look at deals, I'm going to ride with Bryson because
Okay.
I know him.
Yeah,
But
then
if you, like I say,
that works. I
you
mean,
don't. Yeah.
I appreciate
I
the telling me that up front so I don't waste time
Yep.
on it.
Yep. But like I say, if you've got a deal, I've got money.
Yeah, I like it.
Okay.
So I'd have to be on the seller side, obviously, to make that deal
Yeah.
work with Bryson. But
Yep.
I think it still helps, man. What's your
Yep.
full name? And I'll put you in my phone.
Russ Chambers.
Awesome, Russ. Well, listen, man, I appreciate it. I'm going to see what I could do, but good job on selling it. And I'll text you as well. Keep me informed if anything changes.
Sure. If this thing cracks, I'll let you know.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate it, Russ.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks.
Bye for now.
Bye.
Okay. So another, we've got some people coming in the waiting room for whatever I have next. What do I have next? Let me look. Oh, I have my KV core training next. I'm going to start letting them in. But you see the value of that phone call. Another for sale by owner. I can't talk. Another FISBO we had a conversation with. I got his name. He talked to me about having an agent. I have a Bryson I'm going to look up in the MLS to follow up with for obviously agent attraction. I have a guy that's got 450 grand that owns a mobile home park in Arizona that becomes a good contact. I got realtors everywhere. BS. He might have Bryson, but we've got opportunities elsewhere. All that came from just a for sale by owner call, right? Not being afraid of that particular call. Does that make sense for everybody? Awesome. Okay, I'm loaded today. I've got my KV core training coming up next. I'm going to stop this particular recording.